afternoon, morning, hello everyone. So you can kind of look at the slide, but I'm gonna go ahead and start. I want to thank you guys for the opportunity to get to share my story. I'm gonna tell you how God blessed me, me and my wife and my family through Primerica. And my goal is to encourage you guys to not only get your Primerica business going, but also take what we do a little more serious if you don't already do so. I'll kind of give you a little bit of history that I have. I met Eugene and Amy, I think I was like 15 or 16. I came to a church that they were attending. I came to visit. I went to the children's class, and then they didn't let me come in because I had a full goatee at 15. I looked 30, so they were like, no, mister, you go into the big church. I'm like, well, no, I'm a teen. Like, no, go with your wife. No, that's my mama. So after they let me go to class, very, very quickly, Eugene and Amy became like role models to me. I had no idea what they did for a living, but I thought they were rich because they were always happy at church and they were always gone on some type of trip. So I was like, they gotta be rich. I'm gonna stay real close to them. But after you get to know Eugene, you know Eugene doesn't like to pay for trips. So then I found out that it was Primerica paying for these trips. All right, so 2009, I'm a couple of years into dating my wife. Eugene sits me down for an appointment, and he explains how important life insurance is, why I need it, what it could be used for. And at the time, my wife wasn't the most important person in my life. My mama was, so I bought a policy at 19 or 20, $250,000. And if you're 19, you buy a policy, you know, it's dirt cheap. Yeah. And so if something happened to me, I wanted to be able to take care of my mom. Eugene brought me back in the next year, about 2010, and then they recruited me. So I was excited about the business. I went and got my license a couple months later. And then the very next month after I got my license, my job laid me off. So now I'm officially full-time in Primerica Vision. Full-time because I ain't got no job. Hold on. So I'm full-time, and then I think convention was like maybe a month or two later. Eugene talked me into going. I went to my first convention, enjoyed it, I was inspired. I was so inspired that when I came back, I recruited 0 people and I wrote $0 in premium. So I was really, really excited about it. Yeah. So next year, 2012, I'm still full-time because I don't have a job, but I am on unemployment. I'm making like $800 every 2 weeks. So I got my wife, we have a son. And then I was on unemployment for so long that the state had to call and say, hey, we're gonna stop your unemployment because you're not supposed to be taking this money for this long. So we're gonna stop your money in a month. So you gotta go get a job. And my wife, who was pregnant at the time, gave me a gentle push. Yeah, you gotta get a full-time job. So I go get a job eventually. And then I'm busy working, and then I do what a lot of people do. I quit Primerica. Now, I don't pick up the phone. I don't call Eugene and say, hey, I'm quitting. I just stop answering his phone calls. I stop coming to meetings. I stop coming to events, and I just kind of, faded out. And this whole time, Amy and Eugene, they're still encouraging us. They're still friends with us. They didn't stop being nice. We just didn't talk about the business. So 2014 comes along. I got to put in another IBA. So I actually took my test, got licensed 2012. But then I come back in 2014. pass my test again. But then I get a letter from the state saying, hey, you were in Primerica before, you didn't do continuing education, so there's a $1,500 fine you gotta pay so you can start doing business again. I don't have the money, so then I quit again. And then again, I don't call Eugene and Amy, I just stop answering phone calls. So next year, 2015, I put in another IBA. I go pass my test again. So I think I might be the only person I know, Vish, that has taken the test 3 times and passed 3 times. But I did it again. This time I had the money, so I paid for my licensing fee, and then I'm back to work. So this time I'm really excited about the business, and I recruit 3 people that year, but I write $0 in premium. So fastest start in history, I know. Next year, 2016, I recruit a couple people. I write about 10 or 12 policies that year, but at the job I had, I've gotten promoted, so I'm now in management, making really good money, but I don't have time to devote to the business. So working a lot, taking care of my family, doing the business kind of in my spare time, and then November 2017 that year, not feeling well, can't sleep at night, so one night my wife takes me to the hospital because I'm just not feeling good. We go in there, they kind of give me some medicine, send me home and say, okay, there are gonna be some results coming later. So we get a phone call from the doctor, we come into our office, and then on November 14th, 2017, I found out I have stage 3 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So, you know, like many of you, I have no idea what lymphoma is. So I gotta go Google. I found out I have cancer, and at the age of 30, I come down with life-threatening disease. So, you know, after you get over the initial shock of, you know, being told you have cancer, first thing you do is reflect. You kind of think about your life, and of course, if you got goals and dreams, you kind of got to put them aside because you don't know now what's coming. You might not be here to reach these goals and dreams that you always talk about. So after I got over that shock, I found solace in a couple of things. One, I had personally accepted the Lord Jesus Christ as my Savior, so I knew I was going to heaven. So if this thing don't work out, I know I'm going to heaven. But then I also knew that I had a very large life insurance policy on me with Primerica, plus I had another $500,000 worth of life insurance at my job. So if I don't make it, my wife, she's gonna cry, but she's gonna be okay. There's $1 million that's gonna be left to her and my kids. So I don't really have to worry about that part. So started doing my treatment, working full time, going to chemotherapy about 2 or 3 weeks, 2 or 3 times a week. And then about a month after that diagnosis at my job, it's time to renew benefits. So I have to fill out paperwork, and if any of you guys that are licensed know, your insurance at work is term, but it's annual renewable, which means you have to qualify every year. Well, guess who doesn't qualify anymore? Because he has cancer. So I lose $500,000 worth of life insurance that I had in my job because I am now sick with cancer. So now that's a big chunk of money that's gone. So if you guys are talking to people and, oh, I'm okay at my job, then just tell them my story.
Tell them your story.
Because I literally lost my life insurance. At the time I was gonna need it the most, if that makes sense.
Right.
All right, so I'm going through my treatments. I'm going to work because bills don't care if you're sick, so you still gotta pay them. So I'm at my job, I'm working. The days I'm sick, I'm throwing up in the bathroom, I'm tired, but I still have to go to work. So that's what I do. Because if you don't have a business and you have a job, you have to go trade your time. So it didn't matter how I felt, I still have to go to work every day. All right? So at my job, and then come May of last year, I got so sick, I was in and out of the hospital that I literally couldn't do my job. So I was a manager at a furniture store, and it's hard to manage when you can't be there every day. So I finally decided to take leave. So I take leave from work. I burned through all my PTO, all my vacation in like maybe a month and a half, 2 months. So now it's August, like August last year. I have no job. I can't work. My wife doesn't work because we homeschool our kids, full-time mom at home. But now I have no money. And I'm in the hospital sick. So this whole time, Eugene would always come and visit me, ask how I'm doing. He would pray with me, encourage me, you know, things are gonna be all right. But the cancer was pretty aggressive. So I ended up getting a mass formed in my chest. I had to do some radiation therapy, but the cancer was still progressing. So one particular night that was pretty tough, Eugene called me and was like, hey, you know, what's the prognosis? You know, how you doing? I'm like, well, it ain't going well. They're saying this and this, it's aggressive, don't know what's going on. He goes, well, you know what? We got this terminal illness rider inside your life insurance policy. Let's see if we can do something about it. So we called Primerica. We kind of go back and forth with some paperwork. And then mid to late August, Primerica overnights a check to my wife for $250,000.
Yeah.
So, you know, I want to say this, a lot of the money is gone, and the rest is tied up investment. So if any of y'all want to see me in the parking lot, I don't have any money right now, so can't take it. But because of that money that we received from Primerica, I was able to concentrate on my health, getting healthy. My wife and kids had a somewhat normal life, even though I was out of the picture. And so I know a lot of you probably have people that are going through sicknesses and things like that. The number one thing that people worry about while they're going through this is money. I'm telling you what it is. Money to pay for the medical bills, money to feed their families, and all of that worry disappeared from me. So something my pastor always talks about, worry can actually kill you. And most of us, if we were honest, the one thing that we're worried about is money. And so Primerica, what they did for me was they removed that from me. So last year, I'm still going through the thick of it, but we were able to purchase a van because we were sharing a car with, you know, now we got 3 kids, so we're in a Toyota Corolla with, you know, me and my wife with 3 kids, but now we're able to go get a van, and my wife was able to just take care of the house. Whether I was at home or in the hospital, we didn't have to do much. It actually got very rough last year. There were about 2 or 3 months where I physically couldn't eat. I started last year at about 315 pounds. I lost 100 pounds in about 9 months. So if y'all need any weight loss tips, I'm the man to come see.
King, I'll get you there.
But then January this year, I actually started to get a little bit better. Was able to start eating, start gaining some strength, start gaining some weight back. And I knew eventually the conversation was gonna need to be had. Are you gonna go back to work? Are you gonna go find another job? Are you gonna, because I've been on leave this whole time. And so, because I was scared, I was like, well, you know, I might need to go back to that job even though I hated it and I worked a lot and I didn't see my kids. You know, it wasn't that bad. And then my wife said, well, let's talk about this first. You can go back to that job if you want to, but you took this job 7 years ago to bridge the gap until you could do Primerica full time. And now you have the money to go full time. You got your freedom. And you get to see your kids every morning. I would work sometimes so long that I would literally wake my kids up, kiss them in bed at night. And I would go 3-4 days in a row. So my wife said, you know what? You can go back to that life if you want to, but you're gonna look up. We have a 14-year-old. She said, 7 years from now, your 14-year-old is gonna be grown. My middle child is 7. So she's gonna be a teenager, and your baby's not gonna be a baby. And you're gonna wonder where the time went. Because you're giving it to a job. So we decided, you know what, let's try to work the business. And it was a good thing we made that decision, because the very next week, I got a phone call from my employer. Say, hey, we know you're still going through it, but do you know when you're gonna be back? At the time I didn't. I said, hey, I still can't work full time. And they said, well, you know what, we're gonna have to let you go. So the company I've been working for 7 years, they terminated me. But they told me if I wanted to come back, I could just apply for my job back, and then I could come back. You know, about 3 or 4 months ago, I started trying to work the business. I actually was serious. I talked to people about what we do, set up on to start writing premium, and all of that was possible because of Primerica. So September 10th of this year, I was actually declared cancer-free.
Yes.
As I stand here now, this sexy voice that you hear, my left vocal cord is actually not completely paralyzed because of some of the treatment that I had to go to. My right vocal cord is partially paralyzed. So I say all that to you not for sympathy.
Sure.
We all are kind of going through our own personal struggles, personal journeys. But again, at the end of the day, you got to go win for your family.
That's it.
Because nobody wants to hear a testimony if you don't overcome whatever you're going through.
Right.
There are millions of people that are going through things that decided to quit, and we don't really care. We feel sorry for them, but we don't care. The stories we want to hear are about people that went through adversity and then overcame it. So that's why we need everybody here to go win anyway.
To go win.
If Eugene and Amy hadn't sold me that policy years ago, I don't know. I don't know if I really would have made it. But we were able to because they stuck with us, they stayed friends with us, they encouraged us, and they sold us on, hey, we're gonna make millions of dollars one day. You're gonna be a business owner. But if you don't, you gotta leave something for your family.
Right.
So before I close, I want to first say thank you to Eugene and Amy, of course. They've been great friends to us. Also, Stephen and Angelica for setting the tone for me. There's nothing like being friends with somebody and they beat you all the time. And then they let you know about how they beat you all the time. So I thank Spiller for that. But also I wanted to publicly thank my wife. So I couldn't get her to come up here today to speak, but that's okay. I'm not gonna embarrass her now. So everyone has told me about how strong I am, about how my faith has encouraged them and all that stuff. But to me, the real hero in all of this is my wife. She signed up to have a husband and a partner, and then she became a single mother, no fault of her own. So while I was going through this 18 to 24-month journey, she was super mom at home, coach, teacher, taking care of our kids. She'd get off that shift, drive to the medical center, and come visit me at night while I was laying in bed. And She would encourage me. She would pray for me. And even though a lot of times people would call me and say, how you doing? Yeah, I'm fine, I'm good, I'm good. God's good, God's great.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
But at night, I would be crying.
By yourself, yeah.
I'd be questioning God,
Yeah.
wondering, where is this going, God? And my wife would come and she hold me, even though I'm twice her size. And she just remind me that God is still in control and God can still bring me through.
Right.
So just wanted to tell her in front of everybody else, I'm gonna win now.
Yeah.
I made a promise to God that if He allowed me to come through, I was gonna actually work the business this time and win big for our family.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you at the top.